everyone. It's great to see such a packed house. My name is Jeff Windsor. I'm part of the StartX team. We're going to do a couple things up front before we dive into the presentation. So first, this is some information that you could use if you'd like. This is our social media information. We have a Twitter feed. You can subscribe to that. We always have good stuff going on there. Next, we want to take a couple minutes to recognize our event sponsors for today. So we want to start by recognizing our gold sponsors. Those are Box and American Express. We've been working with both of them. They've both been great. We're actually going to hear from the founder of Box later on in the presentation. And we also want to thank our silver sponsor, Splitcast, which is live streaming the event. They've been doing a really nice job for us, so thank them as well. This time I'd like to also thank our platinum sponsor, Stanford Corporate Partners. And I'd like to introduce Ted Tusing from Stanford Corporate Partners to say a couple words.
Jeff, thank you very much. It's a real honor, a huge pleasure to be able to work with StartX and emerging corporate partners. Stanford Corporate Partners is a program that we launched 2 years ago, and it's come together to help transform what we're doing over in the health enterprise. Stanford's embarking on probably one of the greatest renovations of the health, of the way we deliver health. We formed this partnership as a long-term agreement between some of the great companies that you'll see listing above, which include Apple, eBay, HP, Intel, Intuit, NVIDIA, and Oracle. Now, not only are these companies helping us transform the whole medical enterprise, but they're challenging us to go about health delivery in a different way. And this is where StartX comes in, and everyone here, I hope. We're open to think of new ideas, new ways to deliver health in a human-centric fashion. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be involved with you guys. I look forward to a long-term relationship, and I want to wish everybody great luck and great success in working together. Thank you.
All right. Next, we'd also like to take a couple minutes to thank the signature partners for StartX. Those are the Kauffman Foundation, which recently awarded us a major grant which is helping us grow what we provide to entrepreneurs. Also want to thank Microsoft, BizSpark, AOL, where our offices are, and Greylock Partners, who I should be hearing from John Lilly here from Greylock in a couple minutes. So, really quick to go through the agenda. We're going to start off by telling you a little bit more about StartX. Then we're going to have a keynote talk from John Lilly, a set of company presentations from StartX founders that have come through StartX over the past year and a half. And then we're going to have another keynote by Aaron Levy from Box. Company presentations will be outside. Box will also be outside as one of our partners on this. And then more company presentations here, and then we'll have demos and food outside. You can spend a couple hours outside getting to meet all the founders that are presenting here today, as well as some of them that aren't presenting that have tables outside. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to bring up Cameron Titleman, founder of StartX, to say a few words about our organization.
Hello, my name is Cameron Titleman. I'm the original founder of StartX and current CEO. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about StartX, for those of you who don't know the details, because we have an application coming up for the program. So StartX is building a community of the world's top entrepreneurs. Now, the importance of this is pretty stark. Networks and organized networks are actually one of the most fundamental ways for founders and entrepreneurs to move faster. So how we do this, our mission is to accelerate the development of the top founders out of Stanford through experiential education and collective network intelligence. So what does this mean? What we've done is we've been able to organize all the top founders out of Stanford in a common community in a way that they can continuously, for their entire lifetimes, utilize each other. And we've organized it in a way that every time we add a founder to the community or a mentor, that adds to the collective intelligence of the group. This gives a tremendous unfair advantage to those individuals. We also teach our entrepreneurs through experiential education. And how do we do this? we have this 3-month accelerator program, and it has these 4 components: community, mentorship, education, and resources. We work to create a common bond during the 3-month program that allow the founders to trust each other and understand how ridiculously awesome they are, and then they utilize each other and help each other. This last session, they all said they actually solved over 70% of their problems just by utilizing each other. We have mentorship from some of the top serial entrepreneurs and venture capitalists in the industry. Co-founder of LinkedIn is one of the lead mentors, and there's a lot of really amazing people. We provide educational workshops and office hours, but we know that founders do not like being held down. And so we make sure that everything is optional and it's tailored to every individual company that goes through. What they need, when they need it. Very important. We also give resources so that you can focus on solving your problems and you don't have to worry about them. So this includes office space at AOL, accounting help, banking help, all the stuff that you kind of is annoying and you don't really want to worry about. We've run 7 sessions thus far over the past 2 years. And we've had some great success. We've gotten some good recognition. This is why you're jealous you didn't go to Stanford. We love that one. Stanford is awesome. And our program has grown tremendously. The founders through it have proven that Stanford entrepreneurs are amazing, and when given access to a collective group to utilize, they can do amazing things. And so the founders in the program have raised over $88 million, and that's an average of $1.43 million per company that's gone through StartX. And this isn't just IT. This is clean tech, this is hardware, and all across the board. And at this point, we have over 200 dedicated mentors that are helping these founders out. Like I said, we have a very diverse community. So, as far as backgrounds, we accept people in any stage. So your undergrads, PhDs, masters, professors that have gone through, postdocs, and recent alums. We've got a lot of IT companies, but are getting more medical companies. We launched StartX Net this summer, and we've been building out a lot of resources for hardware companies, and you'll see some of those today. So if you want to be part of this community, you should apply. Tomorrow we're opening up applications for the next session, so definitely take a look at that. And if you're not, so the eligibility requirements to get into the program are you have to have at least one Stanford founder on the team that's either a current student or a recent grad. And we're not very strict on kind of how far out you want to be, so you should definitely still apply. And if you still want to have access to this amazing community of founders working on incredibly hard problems, and you're not currently working on a company, join one of the other ones. In the future, if you're going to be building these companies, you need that type of networking group. And so it's a great way to get involved. If you're an alum that dropped out of Stanford 5 years ago to start a company, then we still want you involved with the community. Maybe the accelerator program is not best for you. However, the community is there to support you. So if you want an unfair advantage and to move very quickly within an organized system and have access to the collective intelligence of the top founders out of Stanford, then join us. So with that, I'm going to introduce one of our longtime supporters and sponsors and advisor to StartX. He was the former CEO of Mozilla, and he's now a partner of one of the top venture capital firms in the world, Greylock. So John Lilly.
So thanks. I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to tweet it. That's kind of what I do. So there's a lot. We got to all lean in. So let's see. I'm going to take a picture. All right. 1, 2, 3. Smile. There we go. All right, I'll tweet it at the end. So thanks for coming today. It's kind of an honor. It's an honor, and I'm very, very excited to talk at this. It's been neat to see what Cameron and Dan started 2 years ago turn into this. I think it's kind of a testament to how important it's become at Stanford that so many people are giving up their amazing Saturdays and amazing weekends to be in a room today. So I'm going to talk for only a few minutes, and then we'll get to the startups to speak. But I thought what I would do is I would tell a little bit of my own personal story because, as Cameron mentioned, I think that the process of entrepreneurship in Silicon Valley is really all about networks and people and working together and kind of mixing and matching in ways you don't expect. But I'd like to find out a little bit about you guys to start with. So how many people are students here now? That's a lot. So how many people are undergrads? So mostly graduates. How many people are graduate students? And how many people are MBAs? A lot, and they're all sitting sort of towards the back. And how many people actually make things, are engineers? It's my bias. My partner Reed and I agree, like neither one of us are MBAs, and our other partners are, so we have that conversation a little bit. Okay, so thank you guys for coming. So I think before I talk about me, I think it's kind of an important thing to talk about the context you're in. You know, Stanford is this amazing, amazing special place. If you look back all the way to Hewlett-Packard, Stanford's turned out, it's been sort of the breeding ground, the starting point for so many companies over the years. Hewlett-Packard, Cisco, Sun, Yahoo, Google, PayPal, LinkedIn, and even John Hennessy, John Hennessy's own NIPS, which got folded in as SGI eventually, and tons of newer companies, some you'll hear from today, but also, tons and hundreds of new companies, Wildfire, Hearsay, ClearSlide, Telepart, Lytro, lots more. In the two latest billion-dollar club entrants, Nicira and Instagram, where we were involved. It's just important. There's no place that's like Stanford anywhere in the world. And you guys are all so lucky to be right here, right now, in a context where exceptional engineering, exceptional design. There are so many startup ecosystems. StartX is the latest and strongest, but it's in a context of the D School, the Mayfield Fellows, and STVP. There's just so many things that are here to support entrepreneurs and engineers. And then John Hennessy himself. There are not many universities in the world that are led by engineer entrepreneurs, and we're lucky to have John run Stanford, and it shows in sort of everything, the way that Stanford manifests. So. Oh, and then not to mention, you can drive 2 miles in any direction and get one of the world's experts in social networking or online games or what have you. So, I thought I'd tell my personal story because it talks about all the strings and all the network effects over time. My own journey started at Stanford about 23 years ago when I was a frosh here, and I got to Toyon, which is about 2 blocks that way. Not being kind of a knucklehead, I didn't know much about anything when I got here, but I assumed I was going to be a physicist. And so I got here, I figured physics would be a piece of cake, and I got here, my first class, I got completely crushed. Totally dismantled. I said, no problem, it's my first quarter, I'll make it up in the second quarter, at which point I was actually got, I think, the lowest grade in all of the physics class. Like, when you see the histogram of the chart distribution, I'm not kidding, like I had the smart guys were all over here, and I had my own who were on this side. Anyway, but I rallied, and I decided to do computer science, which was still hard, but it made more sense to me. And I wanted to do computer architecture, which is what Hennessy did as well. And so I was doing that, and I went to work for a company called Sun Microsystems, which most of you guys probably won't have heard of. They got bought by Oracle a little while ago. And I had this amazing mentor there who said, John, I hear that you're doing architecture, and that's cool. We need fast computers, but who cares how fast they are if nobody wants to use them? And if anybody's ever used a Sun computer, you know how true what he said was. They were not very fun to use. But that was sort of the first time when I really started to internalize the lesson of make a great product that everyone cares about, and then sort of obsess about distribution. Sort of make a great product and then obsess about how people are going to figure it out and find it and use it. And that changed everything for me. So I immediately came back and I switched from being an architecture and double E major into being a design major. So it was the beginning of HCI at Stanford, and it was in the very early 90s. It was the very early days of the industry, but I couldn't take enough design classes. I was sort of obsessed with it. And so I did that. I became a designer. And then I went to a company called Trilogy in Austin, which everybody will forget by now too. But the thing about Trilogy, it seemed like this incredibly risky startup. It was only 80 people, and that kind of shows the difference between then and now. 80 people sounds like this giant corporate entity. Then it seemed like a tiny company to us. But I went there, and the thing I learned at Trilogy is how to recruit really, really smart people. And thank God for that, because recruiting is the center. And that was the beginning of my lessons that the network is everything. And who you work with, and who you attract, and who you get to work on things with you, that kind of determines everything about the arc of your trip. So the first lesson was build great products, obsess about distribution. The second lesson, network, was the network is everything. And I met a Stanford professor named Tom Koznick after I left when I was at Trilogy, and he told me two things that were probably the two best pieces of advice I ever got. The first one was, you need to find your tribe. Figure out who's on your team, who you want to go to war with, and you guys are going to be the people in Silicon Valley. 20 years from now, you're going to run Silicon Valley. You're going to be the people who make the decisions. So try to figure out who you want to be with, who you want, and who you don't want to be with. Figure out who's on your tribe, treat them right, and build it over time, and really, really invest in your network. And that was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got. I'll tell you this other one in just a minute. But Trilogy was in Austin, and I miss being here. It's hard not to be in Silicon Valley. And a lot of people will tell you how amazing this geography is, or that geography is, or how hot London is, or Beijing. But I'll tell you, there's just no place like here. There's no the density and the intelligence and what IDEO calls T-shaped people, which are both broad and deep. There's no place like Silicon Valley including San Francisco for that. But so I came back to Silicon Valley, and I went to work at a little company called Apple. And this was about the time when Steve came back. So I was there for 2 or 3 months, and then Steve Jobs came back. And I learned a lot about leadership there. What Steve did is he got up and said, look, nobody believes in us. That's fine. We're going to go change the world again. He used a lot of profanity when he talked internally, which I do too, but my son's here, so I'm not going to right at the moment. So, but what he mostly said is, look, we're going to change the world, and if you want to do that with this thing, let's get going. If you don't believe in it, or if you're wavering, then get the hell off the bus, and we're going to go anyway. And that was, I thought, inspirational leadership, and it taught me lessons about how to say, are you in or you're out? Now, for a lot of reasons, I got off the bus. I liked Steve, and I liked Apple, but I wanted to start my own company. And so I started a company called Reactivity, and I started naturally with 2 of my very best friends from Stanford and my mentor from Apple. And we went off and did some things, and we built that company for about 10 years, and I was there for 7. We eventually sold it to Cisco. But while I was building Reactivity, I got a note probably in 2003 from a guy I'd heard from in probably 5 years, a guy named Sean White, who I had gone to school with at Stanford. And the note was to me and to Reid Hoffman, and all it said was, I think you guys might like each other, I think you should have breakfast. And it's funny, because I've gotten a bunch of notes like that over the years, and I've learned to pay attention to them, because these simple notes of saying, I think you might like this person, I think you might really get along, a lot of times they're not relevant, but sometimes they change everything. And Reid and I started having breakfast in 2003, 2004, and we started talking about how people network and how they match, how they work together. And that was the genesis of LinkedIn. Reid has done fine since then. And LinkedIn, I think, was worked fine. Although I thought it would work, because I didn't think people would put their A-list networks into his little system. Anyhow, that all works fine. And that started a big collaboration between me and Reid over the years, where I recruited Reid to Mozilla's board, and he eventually recruited me to Greylock, where I am now. In the meantime, I was looking for something new, and I sort of accidentally kind of hooked up with the Mozilla guys, and there were about 15 people, and they had just launched Firefox. And I was kind of on the fence about whether to join Mozilla or not, although I was talking to Reid, and then I was talking to Joey Ito, Calvin, and Media Lab about whether to join. And the Mozilla guys invited me to this meeting with Jerry Yang, the founder of Yahoo, also a Stanford guy. And it's funny, I tell this story a lot, but Jerry was 45 minutes late for an hour-long meeting. And he comes in, yes, exactly. And he comes in, and then he starts yelling at us. And so he was yelling at us because he was so angry that as people started downloading Firefox had Yahoo and Google both built in, but Google was the default because Google is what people wanted to use. But he got in and he was so angry that people, as soon as they started using Firefox, became Google users. And it was sort of while he was yelling at us that I decided I had to join. And that's another sort of bonus special lesson, which is if a billionaire starts yelling at you, you kind of know you're poking around in the right places. But it's true. I mean, look, by all accounts, Jerry's a very nice guy. But he yelled at us, and that changed my life too, so that was okay. But whether he yelled at us or not, I think I probably would have gotten trapped by the gravity of Mozilla, because that was the second lesson that Tom Koznick shared with me back in Trilogy was, you find your tribe. The second thing was do things that make your soul sing. Do things you care about, do things you love, and it'll show through in everything. It'll show through in the work, it'll show through in the product, it'll show through in your network. And in truth, the web is something I love. The web is something that made my soul sing. And so I was going to join Mozilla, even if Jerry hadn't yelled at me probably. But Jerry helped. So we built Mozilla for a little while, and I eventually became the CEO. And we built it up to be about 450 million users worldwide. So it was a fun ride, and I think we changed the world. I think Mozilla's doing interesting things now. After a little while, I started looking for things to do again. I joined Greylock. I joined Greylock about a year and a half ago now, so I'm the relative new guy still. I've invested in 5 companies since then: CitrusLane, ClearSlide, Dropbox, Tumblr, and Instagram. And as I was reflecting on it coming in today, 3 of those companies were started by Stanford engineers. 1 company was started by an MIT engineer, and 1 company was started by an engineer designer who dropped out of high school. So I like guys who make things. That's my particular passion, and I think that it's sort of the zeitgeist right now supports people who make things, not people who sort of analyze and spreadsheet things. So here I am today. I'm a product of Stanford Engineering, Stanford Computer Science. Yeah, it was like a minor dig at all the people in the middle. I'm really sorry. It's hard for me not to give a talk where I kind of tweak the MBAs, and I'm sorry. Anyhow, so here we are today. And I think it's the thing about today is there's never been a time quite like today. We're like tablets, mobile devices. We all have tiny computers in our hands all the time. We have self-driving cars, for God's sake. We live in a time where we're reinventing everything in the world. There's never been a time in most everybody here's lives where there wasn't a dominant entrenched operating system. There isn't a dominant application suite, and everything is new. We're all learning these things together. So I think that I'm really happy to see so many people interested in entrepreneurship now, because there's never been a time where so many people can change the world in so many good ways with so little resources, just because they want to do it, they can see the future. So it's an exciting time. So I'll leave you with 5 thoughts, and then I'll tie it back to StartX, and we'll get to hear from some of the founders. So the first lesson that I take from my career is be patient. So I know everybody wants to go be Aaron Levy or Drew Houston or Kevin Systrom, but Stanford's a pretty good place to be for a little while. It's a pretty good place to hang out. It's a very, very good place to build your network. Be patient and sort of wait for your pitch, to use a baseball metaphor. The second thing I would say is that your network is everything. Everything. The people you work with and the people you build and the people in your tribe, they determine almost everything about whether it works or not. So really, really invest in that. The third thing I said at the very beginning, which is amazing products. Obsess about building something amazing. Don't spreadsheet it and don't top down it. Try to figure out what you want to build, and then obsess about why people want to use it and how they're going to find you, which is another way to say distribution. The fourth thing I would say is do work that matters. We idolize and mythologize entrepreneurs right now, but the truth is that as amazing as entrepreneurship is, it's hard, really hard, and it's lonely, and there are a lot of days that are pretty painful. And so if you're going to go through all that, make sure you do stuff that matters. Don't work on little stuff, work on big things. And then, which leads me to the last point, which is do things that make your soul sing. If you do things you care about, it'll show in your work, it'll show in everything you do. So, the things that I love about StartX, it's been an amazing thing to watch. And it embodies so many of the lessons that have been the key lessons for me as I've found my own way. And I wish so much that StartX had existed when I was here, because I was here even back before SDVP. But you think about networks and communities and values and mentorship and help, and StartX, I think, is killing on every axis. So I'm really happy everybody's here today. I'm really happy you're giving up a little bit of your Saturday, even in the sort of amazing fall weather. So I think we should just turn it over and give it to let the startup start. So thanks, Cameron, for having everybody, and thanks for doing StartX.
All right. And with that, we're going to have our first presentation. It's Kyle from Pixel.
Hi everyone, my name is Kyle. I'm a Stanford grad from the class of 012, and that photo that John just tweeted out is directly related to my company. However, before I begin, I wanted to say, how about a round of applause for the StartX staff for putting together this wonderful event. In addition, I honestly believe that if you're a Stanford student and you're interested in entrepreneurship, you need to get involved in the StartX community. I think I probably speak on behalf of all the founders when I say that StartX by far is the best community for Stanford entrepreneurs. It's really an amazing resource, and if you guys have any questions, come talk to us after. But I'm here to talk to you guys about my company, Pixely. Our company is built on the foundation that photos sell better than words. But not just any photos. I'm talking about authentic, community-driven, user-generated photos. And our technology helps companies harness the value of these untapped marketing opportunities. But I wanted to begin with a quick story about one of our paying customers, Scott. Scott is the digital media manager for the San Francisco 49ers. And over the past few years, Scott has noticed an explosion of user-generated photos that affect his brand. Now, Scott is a really smart guy, and it is pretty obvious that these photos represent untapped marketing opportunities. He would love to capture this authentic, engaging content to engage his customers. He wants to draw marketing insights from the massive amounts of data associated with these photos today. But the problem is, today's solutions are too time-consuming, too costly, and they don't leverage the latest technology. Scott was spending hours manually downloading these photos and organizing them. His alternative was to pay an ad agency hundreds of thousands of dollars for some clunky in-house technology. Now, this is truly unfortunate, but luckily for Scott, we created Pixely. Collect, promote, measure. With Pixely, Scott was able to easily collect thousands of user-generated photos from existing social media platforms, pick the ones he liked, and instantly display them all over the internet, essentially amplifying this positive organic endorsement. Now, this is already a tremendous value, and it's saving Scott a lot of time, but it's just the beginning. We are building industry-leading photo intelligence to help Scott pick the right photos. We are combining this photo intelligence with the social graph to basically create a personalized photo rank. What this means is, when I view the 49ers website, I will see photos of my friends first. And there is no better marketing opportunity than seeing my friends having a great time at a 49ers game. And we know companies want this, and here's our evidence. We're in closed beta, and we already have some brand name paying customers and a pipeline of great companies interested in working with us. In addition, we have a great presence on campus as we are the primary photo platform for commencement, alumni homecoming, and other departments in the area. So the conclusion of my story reads as follows. User-generated photos are going to fundamentally change the way that brands are perceived. And Pixely is going to be at the center of this. By putting intelligence around these photos, we are creating the technology that is going to democratize brands. And if you want to help change the next generation of marketing, come talk to us after. We're hiring both technical and non-technical positions, but we primarily care about people who believe in our vision, that photos sell better than words. Thank you.
Guys, Pixely is probably the best company in the StartX batch. It's all going to be downhill from here, but I'm going to do my best. Oh, oops, okay. So my name is Anda, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Notch. And I actually just realized that I'm the only female presenter of the night, so you guys should enjoy it while you can. So, first of all, I just want to tell you that I'm incredibly happy to be here and share this really exciting work with the Stanford community that I was a part of about a year and a half ago. And I want to thank, for this opportunity, the StartX staff. They've been absolutely incredible, very resourceful, and without them, we wouldn't be here today. I can definitely certify for that. So, with that, let me begin. I think I've been up on stage for about 30 seconds now. And I bet that you guys have already formed a first impression of me, right? Female founders, stuff like that. So some of you are probably thinking, that's a pretty sick logo on her shirt. And others are probably thinking, she's not too shabby looking. And then finally, most of you are probably really confused about what I'm doing right now. I can read it on your faces. But I have a point. And my point is the following. Across all borders, across all cultures, and even campuses, there's one thing that unites us all. And that one thing is our common urge to judge stuff. And by stuff, I mean people, places, movies, restaurants, and even me. And furthermore, we also have an urge to see how everyone else judged the same stuff in real time. That's where Notch comes in. Notch is the most fun and non-judgmental way to judge the world around you. It's the simplest way to share opinions from your phone in a matter of seconds with your friends and friends of friends. As we define it, notching is the act of sharing your feedback on the world in colors with the people who care about it most. So now, what do I mean by this in colors thing? Well, at Notch we believe that opinion sharing has so far been too black or white. So we've decided to give our users a heat map to express themselves on. More fun, simple, and granular way to gauge your feedback on the world. So let's think of a few examples. How do we feel about Cal? Boo! What about dining hall food? Kind of sucks, right? Sorry, Stanford, no offense. What about full one on the cod? I bet that you guys, especially the grad students here, really love it. I personally really hated it, especially as a freshman, because it was kind of weird for me. Why? Well, because there was a lot of sketchy grad students. So then you click done, and in a few seconds, you've shared your Notch with your community. And this is how your feed looks. It's an optimized feed of the topics that you care about. You can easily flick through horizontally to see how everyone else feels about the same topic, and you can add your own Notch in a few seconds. So let me leave you with one thing, guys. Right now, Notch is a fun tool to share opinions. But what really drives us day and night through the hardship of building a company is our long-term vision. We are going to be that one place where you guys come to express, share, and connect based on your true colors. The destination of all of your opinions, the Opinion Network. So we're an all-female kick-ass team, and we're backed by some of the most awesome investors in the Valley. We're going to launch our product soon, but unfortunately it's going to be launched in US-speaking countries, English-speaking countries outside of the US. So if you guys want early access and want to be an early notcher, please email us at founders@notch.it. We already have a super vibrant and engaging community, and we would love to notch with you. And then finally, if you're interested in joining our team, either as a campus ambassador or an intern, or soon we're going to hire for other positions, please email us as well. We need all the help we can get, and trust me, you guys need all the free Notch swag you can get. So email us if you're interested. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. How does this work? Got it. Before I get started, I just want to say that Notch is a really awesome app, and you guys should all use it. In fact, a little known fact, the Gangnam Style dance originated on Notch. True. So, I'm Vishal. I'm with Pico, and I'm here to tell you about a problem that I have. So, I wanted to do something simple, something fun. I wanted to get my friends together and go up to San Francisco. But that simple thing quickly became complicated. So, we had to drive up to San Francisco, we had to figure out who has a car, who can drive, who's going to ride with who. And then people start dropping out, it's like, oh, well, now we need another car. So this simple thing became complicated. And it culminated with this. This is an actual email that I got. Could everyone please respond, reply, not reply all, with able to attend, not able to attend. 1 for you, 2 for you plus a guest. And this is ridiculous. This is the state of social planning right now. And I'm here to tell you that there is a better way. And that way is with Pico. So let's run through this one more time, but this time with Pico. So we want to go to San Francisco. First, we want to pick which day we're going to go. Is Friday or Saturday better for people? With Pico, you can send a text message or email out, and people can vote on the day directly from the text message or email, which means they actually respond and they actually vote. So in this case, it looks like Saturday is better for us. So now once we've decided on a day, you can spread the word and invite your friends. This is important because it keeps everybody on the same page. You don't have multiple threads going on. So now once you invite your friends, we can see those people. We can see who's coming and who's not coming. And I can see, Mark added his girlfriend and her picture's up there, and she's kind of cute. That's cool. And those friends can respond directly via the text message or email invite that they get. So again, you know who's actually going to show up. So now it's Saturday, and we're getting ready to go. We spent all this time and effort planning this San Francisco trip, and we want it to be fun. But but people have had a long week, they've kind of forgotten about what's going on, and you want to get them mobilized when they actually show up. You're not like hanging out in San Francisco by yourself. But Pico helps you do that. We help you mobilize your friends. We help you stay in contact and get people excited for the day up. And the way we do that is with a real-time group chat. And that's group texting that actually works. Not like iMessage, which really only works on iPhones. Pico group texting works on all phones, and it's free. So this allows us to do things that other services really don't allow you to do. So we got up to San Francisco, and some of us got up there early. And we wanted to grab dinner. And the real-time chat and Pico helped us coordinate and actually grab dinner, and it worked out really well. So without Pico, I would have been standing on the streets of San Francisco waiting for people to respond to my messages. So I'm one of the founders of Pico. Why am I here? I'm here because I want you guys to use Pico. I want Stanford to be to Pico what Harvard was to Facebook. So you can coordinate your tailgate, you can coordinate your study groups. If you're a sketchy grad student, then you can keep in contact with Women on the Quad. But really any group gathering, anything where you are juggling multiple emails and text messages and stuff that used to be really difficult to coordinate is really easy with Pico. So if you guys are interested in getting on our beta, we're not in the App Store yet, but come by our booth out there or sign up on our website. And also, if you're interested in StartX, come talk to us. Like the other founders, we just went through the StartX program, and I just can't say enough about it. It's a really awesome, awesome program, and they don't take equity, guys. All right, thank you.
Hello. Hi. My name is Scott, and I'm with Zola.com. Following Pixley, Notch, and Pico, fantastic companies, and I've had many a long conversation with the founders and team members. I can state that the StartX community is full of brilliant entrepreneurs that have been incredibly resourceful in helping us come to where we are today. So thank you, StartX and founders. So Zola is the open table for travel. It's a booking and reservation platform that helps local guides operate and grow their businesses more effectively. So this is our customer, and this is our first company outing. So Chris is a river rafting guide, and it's a good segue to the problem that we're trying to solve here. So Chris is out on the river all day long, and he also has to operate his business after he's getting off the water, which means he's got to answer emails, he's got to take payments over the phone, he's got to schedule his customers, usually paper and pencil, and he also has to organize his gear and his guides and his trips. And then after all that, he's got to market online to keep the lights on. And if he had the time, he would love to grow his business as well. This is Chris's job, and it's extremely painful, incredibly hardworking guy. So that opens up a huge opportunity for us to provide a solution for him. So again, Zola.com is a booking and reservation platform that helps Chris operate his business more effectively and also helps him grow his business. So it's a two-sided model, multifaceted marketplace. So on the one side, it's comprised of the front and back office solution. Together, these two features help Chris operate his business more efficiently, and I'll get into that in a second. And then the other facet of our marketplace is comprised of the consumer-facing products, which includes the Zola.com marketplace, affiliate sales channels, and hotel concierge network, as well as social booking, and we help drive new customers to Chris. So anyway, this is just to give you an overlay of kind of how complex the platform we're building is, and I'll show you some screenshots of what we've done. So this is Chris's site with 2 lines of code. We drop a booking button right into his website, and now he can receive bookings from customers right there. We've also obsessed about product, and we have obsessed about the back office solution, which includes communication tools, and I'll move through these kind of quickly. Booking confirmation through all the different channels all in one place. Inventory and guide management, so there's real-time availability. Listing management, CRM tools to help bring back good customers, and metrics tools. So we've really been obsessed about our product over the last 9 months and building out the platform. And this is the team who's done it, and including Jetlore. So shout out to Jetlore. We're also going to be using their product here very soon. So really, really passionate about what we're doing, passionate about the customers and our industry. We work hard, we play hard, and we're looking for other people to join our team to do the same. So specifically, we're looking for experienced JavaScript engineers, iOS developers, as well as interns if you're in school and want to get engaged. We have research opportunities as well as sales outreach, and any outdoor enthusiasts and photographers who want to get outside. If you're an organizer involved with student groups getting outside, please come talk to me. We also have some Zola swag, so t-shirts and cool videos and more. So thank you very much. Email me after.
Alright, so as everyone knows, PowerPoint and Keynote don't work together. So we're just going to switch over, and in the meantime, I have some pleasant surprise t-shirts. Who wants that? How's everyone doing? Good? Alright, enough of this ruckus. Alright guys, ready to get started again. Our next presentation is boosted boards.
Hey everybody, my name is Sanjay, co-founder of Boosted Boards, and I want to talk to you a little bit first about what is a vehicle. So if I were to ask you guys that, a lot of people would say that this is a vehicle, and most of you would say that this is a vehicle, and if you get around Stanford campus at all, you definitely agree that this is a vehicle. And then some people would be a little bit skeptical of something like this, and very few people would say that something like this is a vehicle. But we actually started with that last thing, a longboard. And the result is the lightest electric vehicle that anyone has ever made. This is it right here. Alright, so this thing goes... My co-founder, John. So this thing, we limit the top speed to 20 miles an hour. It only weighs 12 pounds. It has a 6-mile range, regen braking, even downhill, and it can climb a 15% grade. So a little bit more video. It's fast, it's easy to control, the brakes and the throttle are in your hand. You can store it anywhere, you can carry it anywhere, you can take it on barge, on Caltrain, on the Muni, and it still acts like a longboard, so it's a ton of fun to ride. Alright, so how do we use this thing? Well, John built the first prototype to get around campus, because a longboard's a great way to get around, but the cool thing is now you can go up any hills, you don't have to worry about pushing, and so you can still use it around campus, you can carry it indoors, now you don't have to worry about locking up your bike, you can carry it into the classroom with you, you don't have to worry about stuff getting stolen. But what we realized is there's actually another great way to use it, which is in conjunction with other vehicles. So you can take it into the trunk of your car or in a zip car, you can take it on the bus or the train, and so it makes a great last mile vehicle where if you want to get from here to the Caltrain station, there's not a great way to do that that's quick, right? So as a last mile vehicle, which is this big problem that hasn't been solved yet, this is a fantastic solution. So our background is we're Stanford engineers in mechanical, aerospace, and electrical engineering. We've worked on really cool projects like bio-inspired robotics and airplanes with lasers on them and all sorts of cool stuff. And then in our spare time, we also like to go outside and do fun stuff. So we ski, we snowboard, we kite surf, we ride motorcycles, we wakeboard, and a lot of other things. And that kind of focus where we want to do. So we want to make it a really good engineering experience, like it has to be well made, but it also has to be a lot of fun. And we've done that with this product. So the way this was possible is we were accepted into StartX. We were able to really leverage that community, the other entrepreneurs and the staff and the mentoring network that's been able to get something from a prototype closer to the production stage. And then we were also accepted into Y Combinator, which gave us some funding and gave us another good network. And finally, we launched on Kickstarter just about 2.5 weeks ago. And so far, we've raised almost $400,000. We've received a lot of press, and we're well on our way to shipping the first 300 orders that we've had so far. So the ways that you guys can help. Well, the first way and the best way and the most fun way is come try the prototype. So we'll be outside at our booth. You guys can come try it. It's a lot of fun. The second way is spread the word. So please tell your friends about it. Tell people you think would be interested on Twitter and on Facebook. And finally, support us on Kickstarter. We would love to get more support from the community, and we really want to change transportation, the way people get around. So any help is appreciated. So once again, thanks everyone. We're boosted.
So for those of you who have a few extra dollars lying around, definitely go on Kickstarter. The boosted board is a ton of fun. My name is Tito. I graduated from Stanford in 2011 with product design. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Neutralize. So today, 2 in 3 Americans are overweight or obese, and as it is, over 99% of all diets are going to fail. Obesity is one of the biggest issues facing our community. It affects the economy, it affects our health, it affects our lives, and even the lives of our children, as they're one of the first generations with shorter expected lifespans than their parents. It's pretty big. And believe it or not, eating healthy is really hard. 52% of Americans say that eating healthy is harder than filing taxes. So, after a long day on campus, you're weighing the options, top ramen, microwave burrito, or you could go downtown and eat something healthy and probably more delicious. So you decide to get a hold of a few friends and head downtown. But how do you know what to eat? Neutralize is your pocket nutritionist. With Neutralize and a little bit of common sense, we give you super simple, actionable suggestions on how to reach your health and fitness goals. We can let you know the healthiest dishes nearby, the healthiest dish at a specific restaurant, and even the most wholesome version of any dish you crave. Let me show you how it works. After a short registration process, we determine your nutritional targets for how much each nutrient you need. Here you can see the recommendations we make, and they're not just salads. They're foods you're going to want to actually eat every day. You can get more information like nutrition facts or at-a-glance snapshots like high protein or heart healthy. You can see more restaurants nearby, and even look at their menus to see which options on each menu works best just for you. What's really magical about this is the technology we developed to let you eat at any local restaurant. This is the first time anyone has done this. What's really important is that we actually tailor each recommendation to you. So, what you get over here will be different than what you get over here. But what makes Neutralize unique would be the Nutri-Score. Nutri-Score is a groundbreaking concept that summarizes the healthiness of a dish exclusively to you. It has 2 main factors. The first is the nutritional bang for buck, or the nutritional density per calorie, across 40 different nutrients. And the second is the personal fit, or how closely does a given dish match your unique needs. When we combine these, we make sure we give you only recommendations that will actually help you reach your goals, while providing you all the nutrients you need to stay healthy. In the last 5 years, smartphones have revolutionized our lives. In the next 50 years, perhaps the biggest legacy that Steve Jobs and his iPhone could leave Americans is enabling them to fight the obesity epidemic. Steve gave us a pocket computer. With Neutralize, you have a pocket nutritionist. We're currently recruiting mobile developers and data engineers, so please email me if you're interested. There's more information at our demo table outside. And we'll be releasing 200 private invites today for our iOS app, so tweet at Neutralize if you're interested in receiving one. Thank you.
Thank you, Tito. By the way, he didn't say that, but Tito is half Italian, so what's the best cuisine in the world? Italian, so for a food app, it's perfect. Okay. When the Berlin Wall fell down, I was only 9. Yet, I was struck. It was history in the making. The Cold War was over. So, the next way, though, I went to school and realized that nobody among my classmates had heard of it. I needed to do something. So I get back home and literally scribbled down a small newspaper. It was my first and last newspaper. The next day, I went back to school and sold it out. It was a huge success. With that money, I would hire some of my classmates as writers and pay them with pizza. What still motivates me today is that same passion about finding the fastest way to get the best and latest news videos in a snap. Meet WatchUp. WatchUp lets you create your newscast in seconds. Just pick the videos that you want to add to your playlist, hit play, and you're done. You can now enjoy your morning news or while doing your exercise or consuming your breakfast. What we're building with WatchUp is really the next Hulu for news of the post-PC era. We know that iPad users are consuming up to 3 times more videos on their device. The iPad is a perfect device for enjoying videos, for enjoying news. We're starting with news because news matters. It's actually the second most popular daily activity among iPad users. What happened in the last 3 months would have never been possible without the wonderful help of the StartX community. So we won a Night News Challenge Award out of more than 1,000 applicants at the MIT Media Lab. We got featured in the press by Robert Scoble, The Economist, Mashable, Nieman Lab at Harvard. We also got featured in the App Store in the news category. We were finalists at Mobile Beat, the design competition, out of 250 applicants. And we are moving forward right now, also expanding the team. So as for me, I came to Stanford for a night fellowship in the communication department 2 years ago, with the precise goal to find new ways to augment the news experience on tablets. As for my co-founder, Jonathan Landell, he brings more than 30 years of experience as hardware and software architect, and he also co-authored the very popular Python framework called Web2Py. So if you want to start enjoying the news right now, you have an iPad, it's a great device for consuming news. You can download WatchUp. Our public beta is right in the App Store. Also, we're going to expand the team. So if you are passionate about the future of news, future of video, tablets, just come and talk to me here in the patio. Thank you very much. WatchUp. WatchUp's news.
All right. Gianna has an awesome product. I actually have WatchUp installed on my iPad. And WatchUp happens to use JetLore platform. So, I'm Eldar Sadikov, and I represent JetLore. The world is going social. We all use Twitter, follow the pulse of the world. We all use Facebook, follow the pulse of the world on Twitter, in styles of Pinterest, and capture the best moments on Instagram. And there are all kinds of products for news, movies, or travel. Everywhere, there's a social connect. We don't like sign-up forms, and we want to know if our friends are in. But the coolest services try to do more. They try to be smarter, and that's where they struggle. All the data that comes from social networks comes in raw text, and it's hard to process. But this is where JetLore comes in, with its powerful algorithms and infrastructure. We take all this raw text from social networks, and we transform it into a beautiful profile of who I am and what I'm interested in. We empower every consumer company out there to be smart and personalized real-time to my taste. So what is it exactly that we do with text? Say Malva writes on Facebook that she's shopping for wedding dresses with her bridesmaids. When we process this, we capture wedding dress and bridesmaids in the context of clothing. You might say, okay, I get it. You match a set of keywords to text. What else would bridesmaids mean? But now take a look at this post. This one mentions bridesmaids and hangover. Did bridesmaids have such a good time that they got a hangover? Actually, it's about 2 comedies. And this is the kind of thing that our algorithms are very good at. We understand the meaning of social text. you might still be thinking, is their technology really that groundbreaking? And just like Pixar had to build Boxer Jr. to showcase to the world their technology, we built our own product, Whisper, to showcase ours. Whisper is built on top of JetBlur platform, just like any other third-party product. It runs on top of your own Facebook and Twitter feeds. It shows you what's trending every day in the network. Lets you browse your Facebook and Twitter content by theme, be it sports, music, or technology. Shows you related topics, and even lets you search historical Facebook and Twitter posts. And actually, it's smart. Even if the search keywords are not explicitly mentioned, it shows you relevant results. It's like magic. But the coolest thing is that we open up Whisper today to you guys. As I'm speaking, you can sign up right here, right now. But many of you here to actually hear our personal entrepreneurship story. 2 years ago, we were just PhD students at Stanford. This is my co-founder actually studying for the quals. And this is the whiteboard in my office. And then we get into StartX, and we're packing our stuff out of gates. From there, StartX transformed us from just researchers into a real company, propelled us to grow into a real company. This is StartX demo day, and this is our new office. It's been like a roller coaster. This is our team now. We've gone through a lot, and we've accomplished a lot. We're a team of 10 people now, 9 engineers and 1 designer, 4 PhDs. We raised $1.3 million in financing last year, and we're about to close a large Series A. We have multiple acquisition offers from various tech giants. We work with clients that have millions of users. And we finalize partnerships that will provide us many Fortune 500 clients and millions of developers. I just want to leave you with 3 things. Try Whisper. If you like it, spread the word. If you're building a consumer product, leverage JetBlur platform. Many companies do. And if you like what we do, come join us. Thank you. We're JetBlur, and we're the power behind social data.
All right. Did another switch. So what does that mean? More t-shirts. Woo! Who can yell the loudest? Oh, there we go. Nice mark, Kyle. Alright, so now I'm very excited to announce that we have an awesome speaker here. Very successful entrepreneur that's had a lot of struggles but a lot of success. I'd like to introduce Aaron Levy, the founder and CEO of Box.
Hey, what's up? Does this work? No. Hello. How's everybody doing? You guys? Okay, I can stop. Raise your hand if you have a startup. Okay, raise your hand if you don't have a startup. What the fuck are you guys doing? What is the point of? Okay. Anyway, so StartX is awesome. I thought I'd share a couple lessons from building Box, and you'll kind of give a sense of what we've been through and what we've been doing. It's interesting. StartX is actually, this is like a very deeply conflicting set of companies that you've seen. Like on one hand, with NutraVides, I want to be like a much healthier person and live a healthier life, and then with boosted boards, I don't ever want to walk again. So, fascinating lineup of technologies there. So let's just jump right in. Box, what we do is we have an enterprise platform that lets businesses share and manage data in the cloud. We didn't always do this, and so what I thought I'd do is spend I think I was like allotted 3.5 minutes or something like that. So what I thought I'd do is spend the first part of the time talking about what we've been through, and then to the extent that we have any lessons to share, I can talk about a little bit what you can take away from that, and and what we can do with that. But hopefully we have no potential competitors or future competitors in the room, or else please leave now, or else I don't want to tell you any advice. So that'll be good. So we started the company, really the initial idea came around in 2004. And this is sort of the state of the internet in 2004. Was anybody actually born at this point? Okay, so some people, good. All right, so in 2004, we were in college at the time, and this was the internet was basically a deserted landscape. You basically had two companies in the entire internet. Those are represented by the two camels. So Google and Yahoo. One of the camels was certainly happier than the other, and then eventually, obviously, we kind of know how that ended up happening. Although Marissa seems like she's got a pretty good shot of changing things around. So at the time in 2004, people weren't storing their data online, and we were in college at the time, and we had this problem of how do you move data between all the different computers you want to work from and all the different places you want to be able to share and be able to access information anywhere. And there were a lot of companies that had sort of risen up in really the kind of late 90s bubble period of the internet that didn't really ultimately become successful. And by the time 2004 and 2005 rolled around, there were some massive changes in technology that allowed us to basically build a very different kind of proposition. The cost of storage had dropped dramatically, so we had much better economics and a much better sort of foundational economic model for the technology. We had much more powerful browsers and networks in which to work from, and we had more locations and people to share with. So the demand and the technology that could be the underlying sort of force behind what we were doing had dramatically changed in just the 5 years from when a lot of other companies had tried building this type of technology. So we put together a really quick version of the product, we launched it, and we told everybody we possibly could about it, and it started spreading a little bit on the internet, and some people found out, and then all of a sudden, the poker winnings that we were using to fund the company began to really dry up, and this was actually a point in time when online poker was legal, and you could basically fund your company by beating other people at blackjack online. So that was really the hard knocks of the startup world back then. But the poker winnings dried up, and so we decided we had to go raise venture capital, we had to go raise some financing, which is normally on most conditions actually okay, except when your co-founder looks like this. This is literally my co-founder at 20 years of age, and so it's just a challenge when you try and raise venture capital when the investor thinks your co-founder's going to run off to Disneyland with the proceeds. True story. So we got lucky, we got turned down just, investor after investor. They didn't think it was going to work. They didn't know what was going to be so different. They didn't really believe that we would have kind of what it takes to make this happen. But there's one guy who is just crazy enough in the world, in the entire universe, to do this. His name is Mark Cuban. If you don't know who he is, you can Google him on Dancing with the Stars. And he's a very fascinating character. He decided to invest in the company. We don't know why, but we got very lucky. He funded the business, and then things started to really kind of take off from there. And so we decided that we were having this hard time basically going to school every single day. Wait, how many people are in college? Okay, guys, you got to drop out by now. Come on. Sergey, Larry, they didn't take this long. So things started to pick up a little bit. We decided that we couldn't go to school and run the business and sort of serve all the demands that were going on in our business. And so we decided to drop out of college. And a lot of times people think that's pretty cool. Like Bill Gates dropped out of college. That's pretty exciting. Like, maybe you can be Bill Gates. Or, hey, Michael Dell dropped out of college. And that's pretty exciting. Or Steve Jobs, obviously very dropped out of college. And everybody sort of thinks like, wow, if you drop out of college, you too can be successful. And that's really an exciting opportunity. And the challenge is everybody sort of forgets about this guy that dropped out of college. And not all the time does it work out as you think. But we decided to drop out. We moved up to the Bay Area. And you guys, just as a quick side note, we are in really the most magical place on earth. So you should take advantage of every single opportunity you have by being in Silicon Valley. We moved up to. I'll just say it right now. I happened to spend a couple years at USC, so I hate everybody here. But we moved up to the Bay Area. Obviously, you can't build really any kind of business in LA. So we had to come up to the Bay Area to start and kind of continue to build Box. we decided to open up our product and really, we wanted the world to find out about it, so we opened up a free version. It started to get some good traction. We had hundreds of thousands of signups every single month. Everything was just going really, really well and really exciting, although we ran into this point where we had this really kind of strategic challenge and the strategic question that we began to ask ourselves. We had really kind of two universes of users. We had, sort of consumers that were sharing photos of their babies, and we had enterprises that were like moving around mission-critical documents and mission-critical business data, and that's sort of, it's kind of weird to have both types of data on the same platform. And so we were like, one night we'd be talking to, mom that was trying to share, all of her photos, and the next day we were, talking to some team in Tokyo that was trying to move around business data. And so we decided that ultimately we were sort of underserving enterprises, so we weren't able to solve all of the problems they were having with our technology. We were sort of too lightweight of a solution for the enterprise market, and we were over-serving our consumer providers. So there was our consumer users. So it wasn't as elegant of a product as you would really want to have to be able to build really the best way to share data as a consumer. And so this is, it tends to not be a great position to be in where neither market you're sort of a best fit for. And so we decided that we would kind of look at these problems and decide what we wanted to end up doing strategically. This was sort of 2007. And we realized that in the enterprise market, we were, in many cases, about 1/100th of the price of any of our enterprise competitors. So if you bought Box, you could be saving millions or tens of millions of dollars in your enterprise with using the product. But in consumers, they had so many alternatives. They had plenty of ways that you could store your data. You often wouldn't have to pay for it online. And we realized that over time, it was going to be very, very hard to have a business model in the consumer space. So you basically had this ecosystem where consumers, you'll never make money. And in the enterprise, you're 100 times cheaper than what else exists, and so that means that you probably could even charge more money. So this isn't, really sort of a rocket science kind of great problem. And ultimately, what we decided was we were going to go enterprise and decide to really focus on building a very different kind of enterprise software company. And that's what we do at Box. The challenge was that enterprise software is really unsexy. I don't know if anybody's ever had to deal with enterprise software, interact with enterprise software, but generally in the enterprise software ecosystem, this is what people think of their providers. Sorry, I got the wrong image. So the challenge was that no one's really, really passionate about the enterprise, right? You sort of think it's that crufty technology off in the corner, it's in the basement of the IT guy's sort of office, and that's not a really exciting place to be. But what we realized is that there was an opportunity to build a very different kind of enterprise software company, one that actually resembles a lot like a consumer internet company in terms of the web scale. So we now have 14 million users on the platform that we reach, 140,000 businesses. So you get the scale of really being a consumer internet company. You can move and develop and build technology like a consumer internet company, but you have a business model that is different than selling virtual farms. And so that sort of tends to be helpful. No offense to anybody who does that. But that tends to, it can be a good business, actually, virtual farming. But the challenge was that really most people just thought the enterprise was really unsexy. And so what we decided was, how could we take a lot of the long-standing assumptions of the enterprise software market, that you had to be slow, that the technology had to be unusable, that it couldn't be very exciting to use, that it'd be very costly, and how could we do sort of the opposite of every single one of those things? And what we did was ultimately try to build a company. What we do today is try and build a company that is basically sort of diametrically opposed to the traditional way of how enterprise software companies have built, and that's what Box is all about. So, taking all of that, I thought I'd leave you with, again, a few quick lessons as everyone in this audience is starting out their kind of startup career, or maybe is on their second or third or fifth or whatnot. So here's some generic advice. Try and build a wedge solution instead of building for sort of a niche. And that's a very, very big difference. Like, it's actually, there's a huge difference between a wedge solution, which allows you to get into an environment very, very easily, but it's horizontal and it's useful, and the total sort of addressable market is millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people. The difference between that and a niche solution is niche is generally going to be closed off to being useful for the broad market. And the challenge is that niches generally shrink over time because horizontal technologies tend to be able to sort of overcome niche solutions, whereas wedges let you get in to whatever the market is that you're trying to serve and then expand over time and build a bigger business. So in our case, what we did is we built this product that made it really, really easy to share files in your enterprise. And traditionally, file sharing in your enterprise isn't the biggest problem that people have with their business data, but it was the easiest way and it was the biggest problem by which we could immediately solve for an organization, get used inside that organization, and then expand our proposition over time. Where today, most companies don't just buy us for file sharing, they actually buy us to really manage all of their business content and information, but it's useful to get in with a very easy and simple solution. Try and do what was previously impossible. I think the biggest opportunities generally are those that didn't exist 2 or 3 years ago. The technology wasn't ready, the market wasn't ready, the culture in which you're trying to serve wasn't ready. If you think about some of the most successful companies, whether it's Google or Cisco or Microsoft, they started right at the cusp of some dramatic transition in the landscape or in the ecosystem. And right now we're actually facing another one that's very similar with mobile devices and with all the things we can now do with these mobile technologies. So if you're not taking advantage of something that really just became possible, then often you're not going to be able to differentiate yourself enough. And you won't be able to have a sort of tornado in which you can ride that will be growing so quickly that you can kind of latch onto. This is pretty generic, but yet you don't see it often applied as well as you'd like. You really need to make sure that you're doing something that thrills you, right? It's super easy to be excited by a lot of things when things are going well, and it's really, really hard to want to go into work when you're having all of these challenges, and you're having all of these problems, and the people that you're working with, there's challenges there, and there's product market fit issues, or there's issues in the customer base, and if you're not doing something that thrills you, it's going to be really, really hard to persevere through those kinds of things. And so think about, for a second, what do you think about your idea if really tough times start to hit, and you really have to slug it out, and it's not going to be as exciting as when things are rapidly growing. And that's a good way to have a sort of gut check of are you actually doing something that truly thrills you and that you're incredibly passionate about, or are you doing it because it's a sort of a quick opportunity that you can capitalize on? The other one is don't compete head on. So if we look at our business, we compete with companies that are in some cases 1,000 times larger than us, right? So some of our competitors have hundreds of thousands of employees. And the only way we're going to win in a market where you're competing with somebody between 100 and 1,000 times larger is if you're doing something that's impossible for them to do. So what are the things that are the sort of unfair advantages that you have as a startup that your larger incumbent competitor can't take advantage of? Maybe it's a business model thing. Maybe there's some part of the market that they can't afford to give away for free, but you can because you have a much lower cost base, or you're doing something with a much higher kind of price and performance ratio. There's a lot of ways where incumbent technologies and incumbent vendors in the space are doing things that really aren't the most efficient or the fastest that they could be doing given new technologies that have been released. So you want to make sure you're taking advantage of every possible element that can be sort of an asymmetrical advantage for your company. And so never compete head on with the same proposition, with the same cost, and just assuming that your product is going to be better or it'll be appreciated more by customers. You have to do something that's fundamentally different and something that fundamentally can't be done by the competitor that you're going against. And the final thing, and this is really what I think made Box at the end of the day, is you really have to follow your customers. And that doesn't mean doing every single thing that they want. That doesn't mean implementing every feature request that they have. Your job is to take the best ideas and the issues that you're seeing in the marketplace and synthesize those into something that's going to be a world-class product or technology. But ultimately, your customers will often have the right answer to any dilemma that you're facing. What market should you be going in? What strategic decision should you should be solving? And this was what we ran into. We basically were at this juncture where we could not serve our consumer base and our enterprise base at the same time. So we decided to follow really where we thought the most opportunity was and where our customers were being the most demanding of what was possible. So that's 5 quick pieces of advice. I think that might be useful. And if it doesn't work out for your startup, you can always email us and we have jobs. So thanks a lot. Good luck to everybody. We hope you all.
Next up, we have Mindsumo.
Hi everyone, my name is Keaton. I'm one of the co-founders of MindSumo, and today I want to tell you how MindSumo can help change your life as a student. But first, I want you to think about something that you're passionate about, something that really drives you as a student. Maybe it's math, maybe it's science, maybe it's engineering. But chances are you've spent hours and hours of your life working on papers, projects, and problem sets. And my question for you is, what did you get out of all that work you put into it? At best, you maybe got an A. If you're really bright, maybe you got an A+. Well, I'm here to tell you that with MindSumo, you can work on problems that you love and get a lot more out of it. And that's because at MindSumo, we are connecting college students to companies by having them solve real-world challenges. And by solving our challenges, you get a lot more out of it than just some grade. You get experience and exposure to actual business problems that are faced on a day-to-day basis. You get the chance to compete against top students across the country to win cash prizes for your solutions. You can even land potential jobs or internships with companies that are actively recruiting on the platform. And lastly, you can make your voice heard. If your solution is implemented, it can change the way a business does business. And that's a pretty cool thing to say as a student. To this point, these are some of the companies that have done challenges on MindSumo. And in fact, Facebook is running a challenge right now that is trying to help improve the way that they advertise mobily. And so as a student, you can make a difference in companies like this. We started initially just at Stanford University and grew from there to over 20 schools across the country. We also have 50 schools that have requested access to the MindSumo platform. So sign up today so that you can get your spot at the table. Now, we spent 2 sessions in the StartX program, and I can't emphasize enough how much of a difference that made for us. We were able to accelerate our business, raise venture funding, and now we are actively looking to grow our team. So, if you or someone that you know is passionate and wants to make a difference on a small team, then please come and talk to me because we are actively hiring. And additionally, just as an aside, the number of Cal students on the MindSumo platform is slowly starting to edge up on the number of Stanford students. So if for nothing else, sign up today so that we can keep Stanford at the top of the MindSumo pyramid. Thank you.
Thank you, Keaton, and thanks everyone for being here today. My name is Khaled, and I'm one of the co-founders of Addy. Addy is a URL-based physical addressing platform for the digital page. For thousands of years, we have evolved, advanced how we find our way around the world, how we get from point A to point B. In the early days, we used the stars to find our way. And then about 2,000 years ago, the magnetic compass was invented, and is still being used to this day as an instrument of navigation. But of course, the digital era has brought about tremendous progress in the form of satellite imagery, GPS, and smartphone devices. But there's a problem. We still interact with these devices, with this advanced technology, using a broken, archaic street addressing system that simply hasn't kept up with our time. Addresses were conceived over 500 years ago to send pieces of paper from village to village when the world was a very different place. They simply don't contain enough information, parking instructions, directions, buzzer codes, resulting in that entirely unnecessary phone call from the pizza guy when he can't find the front door. They're completely static, requiring us to tediously update them across numerous platforms and services whenever we move. And they're not standardized around the world. In fact, there are over 200 different formats of addresses, many of which aren't even used in their own country due to poor administration and lack of infrastructure. The fact is that more than half of the world, about 4 billion people, don't even have a physical address. And many of these people will likely have an email address and a smartphone before they even get one. And in the increasingly connected, globalized world we live in, this simply doesn't make any sense. Addy is reimagining how we share, how we communicate locations with a very simple solution to this complex problem. We're making physical addresses as easy as email addresses. This is an Addy. It brings up a map with a precise location indicated on it, along with additional relevant location information, conveniently accessible on both mobile and desktop browsers. The Addy creation process is very simple, and in fact, you can claim your Addy today at addy.co because we're currently in private beta. What we're doing here is really enabling people to use the platform in a very wide variety of contexts, from e-commerce and food delivery to the sharing of event locations, which is actually what we're focused on right now. Addies can actually be created for anywhere and in any language in the entire world. And of course, your Addy can very easily be updated when you move around. Addy was born out of a real frustration that our team experienced firsthand living and traveling around the world for many years. I'm currently a second-year Stanford MBA with a background in computer engineering, and David and Mikhail, my co-founders, are computer scientists with experience at Google, Amazon, and IBM. So how can you help us? Well, first of all, we'd love for you to visit addy.co to sign up for our beta today. Create and share an Addy for your next event, for your home, or for your tailgate location. We'd also love for you to help us spread the word. Tell your friends and family around the world about how they can use Addy to save themselves the hassle of communicating a precise location. And we're also hiring talented designers and engineers, as well as people to help us spread the word around campus. So please email us at careers@addy.co or come see us at our table after the show. Thank you.
That's a product I can't stop using, especially since I upgraded to iOS 6. Good afternoon, I'm Mudit Garg from Analytics MD. It's no secret that our healthcare system today is inefficient. I'm sure almost all of you at some point have had to wait in a doctor's office or an emergency room. Unfortunately, last week at Saturday night, I spent 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the Stanford ER just for a simple ID. So we all know that this system is inefficient. It is estimated that this costs us hundreds of billions of dollars. And in my past life, I've worked with hospitals as a consultant, helping them improve their operations. And by that I mean reducing wait times, making sure cases start on time, and problems like that. When I was doing that, what I realized as I talked to the frontline staff, so by frontline staff I mean doctors and nurses who were taking care of these patients day to day. How many patients did the department see yesterday? How long did it take? Where do you think the problems lie? They had no idea. And I thought, imagine having to run my business like that, not knowing how much revenue I had or how much product I sold. And that's when it struck me that they were being forced to drive blind today. At that point in time, I hacked together a simple Excel file. They punched in some information every day, and every day they were able to look back at the previous day and know how they did. Very soon that energized these frontline staff members. They started coming up with ideas that they could try to improve the patient experience. In a few months, we designed some solutions that had tremendous impact. The waiting rooms were much emptier in that hospital. The hospital was saving money, and the staff were finding very excited and engaged in this process of improving patient care. Soon after, the file was starting to be used by over 40 hospitals. And inspired by this frontline-driven change, me and my co-founders, Brent and Ian, decided to come together and start Analytics MD, with the mission of empowering these very frontline staff members in hospitals to be able to improve quality and efficiency of care continuously. Our first product is a tool that systemizes the very kind of feedback that Excel file was giving. It automatically parses the hospital systems and is able to give feedback to doctors and nurses about how their department is doing and how the patient experience is. They're able to use this every shift change at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., huddle around this data, discuss what they're doing well and what they want to improve. In addition, we provide feedback to managers and executives about what operational areas of their hospitals do they need to focus on. We've made some great progress so far. The product's been tried in 5 hospitals, 2 of which are paying us. We have over 300 engaged users, and we've been able to reduce wait times by as much as 20%. And while we are extremely excited about the progress we've made so far, we are even more excited about the path that lies in front of us. We are bringing more machine learning into hospital operations. We are taking this product to even more hospitals, and more so, we are bringing this to other care settings like doctors' offices and clinics. Our vision is to make sure that every waiting room in the US is empty, that there are happier patients and happier staff. If you are passionate about healthcare, are a practitioner, want to join us, or are just tired of waiting in a hospital waiting room, come find us at our booth outside and we'd love to talk to you. Thank you.
I think if our hospitals are using Analytics MD, we might save ourselves a healthcare reform. Anyway, I usually give a joke before I give a pitch. The reason today is that I see everybody's kind of like tired and sleepy and all that. So I want to tell a joke. I guess everyone here are interested in startup, right? And if you haven't, you should read this book about being startups. So it's about using the minimum amount of people doing the maximum amount of work. So here's my joke. My startup is so lean that for me to hire an HR, I would have to fire myself. Anyway. My name is Michael, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Kika. Kika is your best fashion companion. And today I want to talk to you about Kika and our personal story. So this is the founding team of Kika. We started by 3 Stanford students. Michael, that's me, DB, and Derek. And we're 3 guys, and you might have a question in your mind right now. Why would 3 guys care anything in fashion? That's because we experienced some of the pain points in fashion. But what are they? Let me tell you. When we speak of fashion, this is the typical image that you will see, right? It's everywhere, in magazine, in online shopping sites, everywhere. But do you know that the average American woman looks like this? One is size 01, the other one is size 14. How can you sell a size 14 person with size 01 model everywhere? So this creates a problem that you can't find fashion products. At the same time, people, on the left is the beauty standard today. On the right, that's everyday normal people. Everybody got judged, right? That creates social problems such as eating disorder and low self-esteem issues. These are serious problems. We, Kika, we want to solve problems like this. And we talked to hundreds of people, had interviews with 70 people face-to-face, and sometimes the conversation can last hours. It turns out people want to talk about fashion. They wanted to connect people who are similar with them in fashion. And they need reassurance. They need people to tell you that you are beautiful. So Kika is our solution. It's your best fashion companion. So Kika can help you, first of all, as a friend, can give you feedback in fashion so that you can make better and more confident decisions with yourself or fashion choices. For example, Lily here, she's going out to Forever 21 and trying to buy her blouse. Her friends are not with her. What she could do simply, take a photo, choose the friends and family that she trusts, send these photos, and have instant feedback from her family and friends so that she could make a better and confident decisions. We hope, in the end, that you will be more confident about yourself and coming out and share to strangers, but who will share the same kind of fashion traits with you. For example, the same body type, right? Girls, they dress differently because they have different body types. You can talk to different girls who have the same body types, so you can learn from how to dress up, find the products you love, and also at the same time connect to them. Right? You will feel beautiful because there are people similar like you. And for me, for myself, I would love to chat to guys who are short so that I can find 30 or 30 pants. I don't have to go to Old Navy, the kids section, right, to find out my pants. It's terrible. We want to say thank you, StartX. Right? Kika cannot be at this point without the help of mentors. So these are our mentors. At the same time, I want to thank all the founders in here. Let's give them a round of applause for their hard work. It's really difficult to start a startup. Actually, I want to say that, right now we're showing you how awesome we are and all that, but think carefully whether you want to start or not. And, you have this emotional swing, high and low. And for me, what's valuable about this community is that when I'm at low point, I know I can talk to Kyle. I know I can talk to Scott about these problems, and they would, provide me advice and reassurance for startups. So I see that's the value of the StartX community. And come and talk to us. We're solving problems for you. If you ever doubt your appearance, if you have trouble finding your fashion items, come and talk to us. We would love to show you our product. And also we're hiring. We need someone to help us building social media presence. If you are passionate about these problems or solve these problems for people, please come and talk to us. Again, we're Kika. Kika is your best fashion companion. Thank you very much.
Hey everyone, Michael's an awesome founder and he's really addressing a true problem out there, so I hope you check out his product. And before I get started, I just want to tell you about StartX, and a lot of people already talked about it, so I'll just tell you straight up. Apply. Don't think about it too much. I mean, certainly think about it when you fill out the application, but just apply. Because you don't know what you're going to get into until you get into it, and you're going to think yourself that you did later. So I'm Ari from Less Than 3, where you can show off your musical identity online. I'm here to tell you a story about entrepreneurship. I got my start playing EverQuest. I played this game for 7 years, and I became the top shaman on my server. Yeah, real cool, right? Well, what was probably a lot cooler for everyone in the room is that I built a business around buying and selling accounts and virtual items, and I made pretty good money doing so. And at the time, I knew that this market was just going to explode over time. Well, 7 years is a lot to spend on something, so eventually I moved on, and my next obsession was electronic music. So, anyone go to EDC this year? Anyone? One person, you're the man. So I started going to electronic music events, and I learned how to shuffle, and I got really into the scene, and I just became obsessed with the whole culture around it and everything like that. So at that point, I thought, well, you know, what am I going to do with this passion? Well, we turned it into a blog. Me and my co-founders created the #1 electronic music blog in the world. We have a reach of over 2 million fans per week, and really, really strong industry ties with a lot of big names that you'll probably recognize on the screen right now. So we had these really awesome relationships with artists, and we thought, okay, well, how do we turn this thing that we love into our livelihood? How do we turn this into a business? Well, at the time, I was working at Zynga, and my co-founders were working at Hulu and Billboard. So we got together, and we thought about, okay, what are we good at? What do we know? And I thought about my EverQuest experience, and then we thought, okay, well, why don't we create virtual collectibles for the music industry? So this is Steve Aoki, who performed here last year. Anyone go to that show? Come on, people. All right. Anyway, he's a really big performer, and we put this in front of him, and we said, well, what do you think about this? And he said, this is awesome. Where can I show this to people? And that got us thinking, okay, well, where do we showcase our musical identities today? Well, when you think of identity, you probably think of Facebook. This is how Facebook is showing off our musical identity. This sucks. This is just a list of stuff. It's not really expressive of our identity. This is how we want people to express their musical identity. We use album artwork, we use figurines that represent artists and other musical-related decorations to really make this room feel like it represents us. But then we thought, okay, maybe this musical identity problem isn't just a problem for people, maybe it's also a problem for artists. So this is deadmau5. His new album just came out, it's really, really good, check it out. This is really a weak representation of an artist's identity. What we want to do is create something more like this. Here we pull in, we display his musical identity in one beautiful display, and we automatically populate these rooms with social media updates, new music from iTunes, and upcoming events for bands in town. These rooms become the ultimate hangout and expression of our identity. You get to engage with the content that people use to express who they are, and you get to engage with them real time around it. So that's the product. I hope you're excited. We definitely are. We'd like to invite you to join our beta. Our beta users that we have so far are loving it. beta.lesson3.com. And also, we just started bringing on interns. We have a really awesome internship program. You get to learn the music industry and the tech world and entrepreneurship, so it's a lot at once. You get to meet your top DJs, which is a nice perk, free tickets to shows and stuff. Exciting design challenges and really cutting edge tech stack for all you engineers in the room who love to build stuff. So thanks a lot. Come check us out.
Hi everyone. Ari is doing something amazing. He really gets identity. Plus, he gets us out on amazing nights out in San Francisco. It's all part of being the community. My name is Tony Lai, and I did a master's in law science and technology here at Stanford. I graduated a year ago, and now I'm standing here as the CEO and co-founder of LawGives. And our mission is to help everyone find legal help they can trust. Let me just ask now though,
It's been asked before, but I just want to get an indication again. Who here wants to be a founder? Who sees themselves as an entrepreneur? Okay, it's just over half the room. What makes you different? You're different because you spot possibilities. You see what is possible where others only see challenges. Thank you, Sir Richard, big hero of mine. But the reason I'm standing here right now is because I'm surrounded by amazing people who are thinking about big problems and then spot the possibilities. I was a lawyer for 5 years before I came to Stanford, and I thought a lot about obstacles, and I tried to figure out ways to get around them legally. But I was waiting. I was waiting for something, and then I found StartX. And what's unique about StartX is that they're not just thinking about big problems, they're solving big problems. Big problems like measuring blood flow loss, big problems like mapping all of human knowledge, big problems like making solar power cheaper than coal. These are things that really inspire you. When you're surrounded by amazing people who are solving big problems, you can't help but get infected by their passion. You support each other through that, and you feel their pain as well. Like Michael was saying, you support each other, you feel pain. I felt their pain most hard when finding legal help was the bottleneck to them solving these big problems. And the big problem we're solving is that the law, it's like a maze. It's costly, it's confusing, and it's just scary sometimes. We spend $600 billion every single year on lawyers to try and get us through this maze. That's a lot of money. Now, the internet is hitting the law in a big way, right now. And there's a lot of people trying to figure out this problem, but we're spending the last year doing a deep dive into this, and we have some key insights. The key one, the biggest one, is that trust is absolutely key. You need to trust that your lawyer is legit. You need to trust that the person you're giving your secrets to is going to keep them confidential. And any platform that seeks to help you get legal services online has to embed trust. We're building a new kind of marketplace for legal services that helps everyone find legal help they can trust. And there's absolutely no better place to have been building this than at StartX. A trusted community where the founders, the staff, mentors, partners, we all trust each other, we all help each other out. Knowledge sharing is the norm, collaboration is the norm. And we know our model is working because we've already saved hundreds of thousands of dollars for dozens of startups at StartX and across Stanford. And we're really excited now to be releasing our startup package, which can basically take you through everything from startup right through to until you need fundraising and get all of your legal issues dealt with. Developed at StartX with some of these great legal partners. Real cost-effective solutions for you. Now we have an approach, a unique approach that cuts across all areas of law. And it's why we're able to work with some of these great organizations. And it's why we've got some major backers lining up to support us. It's a really exciting time though. Now we're a team of techie lawyers, Ruby ninjas with a little dose of D-School Kung Fu thrown in. We are the team, if you're a founder, that is dedicating themselves to finding legal help for you, whether it's a startup, a social enterprise, or a non-profit. We can help you. If you're a lawyer, we're empowering you with the freedom and flexibility to advise and create value for the communities and around the issues that you care about, that make you all soul sing. And if you're an engineer and you want to work with this awesome team who are solving some really interesting problems, who are helping Mozilla and supporting the open web, who are helping Ashoka and thousands of social entrepreneurs around the world, who are helping founders like you sat around you right now, who are helping to reform the legal system, come and talk to us, because we're hiring and we're opening up our platform now to beta invites. We want to hear your stories, we want to hear what you're passionate about, and we want to help you get the legal help that you can trust. Oh, and by the way, really, really apply to StartX. When you're ready, it's the most fantastic community. It's the most fantastic founders community because it is a trusted social network, and there's no other like it in the world. Come and join us. Thank you.
How are you guys doing today? We're almost done with the presentations. How are you guys doing? We get some, let's go. How are you guys doing? Okay, stop. Okay. So, StartX, that's not my company. All right, we're CodeHS, but first, before I talk, thank you again to StartX for letting us be here. We've had a great summer, and we're just getting started with CodeHS. So I'm Jeremy, and along with my co-founder Zach, we're building CodeHS, which is the best way to learn computer science online. And so who are we? Well, I'm Jeremy, and the guy in the other funny picture, that's Zach. But more importantly, and more relevant to you, we're recent graduates from Stanford in computer science. And we spent 3 years here helping to teach the intro to computer science, both as section leaders and as head TAs, maybe some of the classes that you've taken, CS106A, CS106B, classes taken by people all over the world. And so we have lots of experience teaching thousands of students the basics of learning how to program. And so now it's time for more audience participation, and I want to ask, how many of you know how to program? Raise your hand. Okay, so you guys are among the smartest people in the world. And if there's one thing we believe at CodeHS, is that learning to program is accessible. And so I want to tell you how CodeHS works. So first, you watch videos. We've broken down the concepts into atomic concepts. Then second, you code in the web browser. You do an exercise that relates directly to the video you just watched. But third, and most importantly, we give you help. We give you help with debugging. We give you feedback on your code. And from our experience teaching thousands of people here at Stanford how to program at the best computer science university in the world, we know that is the key. And something else, the way we start teaching people to program is very different than the way it's normally introduced. A problem with the way programming is normally introduced is there's too much jargon. There's too much syntax. It's impossible to get started. Just figure out, what you need to know. But we start with something called Carol the dog, a dog that lives in this little grid world. And your first program might look something like this. Move. Move. Football. Move. Turn left. And if there's one thing about this, it is fun. It is very fun. You would not believe it. You could just sit and do this for hours. But that's not the reason that right now is the time to learn computer science. I pulled up a graph right now which shows the job opportunities in computer science. And this first bar is the annual degrees produced in computer science, PhD, master, bachelor. And this big green bar chart is the available job openings in computer science. And let me tell you, this is the only industry where that's the case. And if that's not convincing, let this be. Right now, we're living in the digital age. Half of you aren't paying attention because you're on your computers. Half of you are on your mobile phones. Every day, we use computers no matter what industry we're in. And right now, it's more important for our students than ever that we learn about digital literacy, that we become, good digital citizens as, computers become more and more important every day. So we believe learning to program is empowering. And so for you, for our audience, if you think what we're doing is important, if you think that we need to make computer science education accessible, you can become a mentor. You can help inspire students. Or we're targeting a lot of high schools, and if you have a high school that you think would be interested, let us know. So come talk to us afterward, and thanks again.
So you know what time it is. It's t-shirt time! Who wants t-shirts? Alright. Alright, how's everyone doing? You can feel free to stand up and stretch for a second if you want. We have about 6 more presentations or so. Alright. Oh, I see a t-shirt. How far can you throw it? You all want one? Yeah. Alright, to get back to it. The next presentation is Read from Cloud Loops.
Cool, thanks Cameron. So I just want to say, one of the cool things about being in StartX is that we get to use each other's products. And so, you can use a boosted board, which is really fun, but a lot of people learned how to code at StartX when they were starting off on the business side by using Code.hs, which is pretty cool. So my name's Reed, and my co-founder is Alex. Our company is CloudLeaps, and Alex is the genius behind our software. I worked in the construction industry for a long time, so I bring a lot of experience working on really big project teams and managing collaboration. So, in the construction industry, I was really frustrated with our collaboration and information management tools. And if you think about projects today, projects for decades have been saving files on computers essentially like we organize paper documents in a filing cabinet. So let me give you an example of a workflow where this sort of legacy organization causes some problems. So I worked on a project with Andreas, and Andreas would create tons of spreadsheets, and dozens of people on our team would use those spreadsheets. I used this green one to create a cost estimate. At some point, Andreas would change some data in his file, and he wouldn't, because of this folder directory view doesn't reveal anything about the workflows on our project team, Andreas wouldn't know what the impact of that change would be on the team, and I wouldn't know that he made a change, so I just continue working with inconsistent information. At some point, I'd find out about the change, and I'd have to go back and redo 2 weeks worth of work. So this was really frustrating for our project teams, but it also cost our companies a lot of money. So I went to Stanford to solve this problem, and the result of a big multidisciplinary research effort at Stanford was to develop this working prototype where project teams save files as nodes in a flowchart. We were able to cut the amount of inconsistent information across our files by 80%. Now, CloudLeaps is spinning out this technology. And the great thing about the way that CloudLeaps works is that it doesn't change the way that project teams work. It simply captures how teams today read and edit their files, regardless of where their files are stored, in the cloud, on Box, or on Box's competitors. Our algorithm then figures out the dependencies between those files and reveals those files back to the project teams as nodes in a flowchart. So this is our interface, and with this interface, Andreas can now see how his change will impact the rest of his project team. And I get customized updates whenever anything changes so that I can keep my information consistent with the rest of the team. So in the next 6 months, we're piloting CloudLeaps at the same companies that built and designed these buildings. These are the same companies that funded our research. Also, we have a really exciting partnership with Stanford in these pilot projects. These companies are using CloudLeaps to capture their workflows, and then CloudLeaps is sharing that information with Stanford, who analyzes it and provides all these metrics back to the companies. Of course, there's a lot of industries with non-standardized processes and unstructured data, and so construction is just the beginning. And in particular, we're working closely with the consulting firms, because consulting firms spend a lot of time figuring out what workflows are on with their clients. So as you can see by this PowerPoint slide here, we could use a lot of design help. And we're looking for interns who would like to come and help us with the design of our interface. Also, we're looking for somebody to help us with QA/QC on our product. We're looking for a business intern, and then also as part of our partnership with Stanford, we're looking for someone who loves to apply social network analysis algorithms to tons of really interesting data. So thanks, and come check out our demo.
I wish I had Reed's tool when I was designing buildings a few years ago. I was spending many weekends, wasting a lot of time coordinating work between team members. I'm Victor. I'm the co-founder of DermLink. My co-founder is Jameson Fermisco, a physician, a dermatologist, and we're part of the StartX batch of companies. So what we do, we change how patients and dermatologists interact. Like many of you, I was in your shoes today. Many of you are thinking about starting your own companies. So I just finished my PhD last year
in civil engineering, knew that I wanted to start a company, attended this very same presentation a year ago. 6 months later, I joined StartX, and I cannot stress the importance of this decision, because I joined a very strong community of leaders, of founders, and mentors. And the value has been mentioned many, many times before, but I strongly encourage you to apply. It's an unbelievable group of people that you'll meet. So, what did motivate us to start DermLink? Think about this simple case. You and your friends going for a hike and getting poison ivy or a bad insect bite. You go quickly to Baden Health Center, wait to see a primary care physician, who ends up recommending you to a dermatologist. So you call the dermatologist's office, and the next available appointment is a month from now. So that's the average wait time today in the United States for people to get to see a dermatologist. And that's the problem that we are addressing, is this barrier between the patient and the dermatologist. The extent of the problem is quite large. There are over 100 million clinical dermatology cases in the United States each year. But we have a solution for it. We use online dermatology, that is the use of high-quality photography, to enable anyone with a skin condition to receive a quick and accurate remote diagnosis without going to a dermatologist's office. And we do that within 24 hours, as opposed to the current month-long wait time. And here is how. You go to our web app or download our iPhone app. You start by entering your contact information, completing a short medical history, answering a few simple questions, uploading one or multiple photos of your skin condition, at which point we run a quality check to ensure that the dermatologist will have the right image to diagnose. And finally, you pay a fee that's comparable to your copay today. So the whole process takes about 5 minutes. Let me ask you a question. How many of you are actually riding your bikes to school every day? I know I did. Vast majority of you. And why I'm asking that is because all of us know how sunny it is here in Palo Alto for most of the year. Now, coincidentally, we just had a booth last month at the Cincinnati tennis tournament where we had hundreds of people using our service and being diagnosed by Ohio-based dermatologists. And using our technology, the doctors were able to identify 5 skin cancer patients that otherwise potentially wouldn't have been identified. So what we are offering today is we're inviting you to try our service for free. Simply go to dermalink.mt/patient and make sure when you open a free account to use this dermatologist code, invitation code 10008. Alternatively, you can download our iPhone app, which we just released, but are releasing an update next week. So please come and talk to us. We are just outside. We'd love to explain more the value of DermLink. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Victor. Next time you guys have an acne breakout, you know where to go. Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Shravan. I was class of 11, and I'm here to talk about X Labs. So the problem is, let's say you're working on a project like this, a presentation for a class. You start out with a very basic, like, okay, this is new project.ppt, and ready to go. You work on it for a while, eventually you come up with a draft, so you save a new copy. And you keep working on it. Eventually you've got your final project, your manual, that you're going to submit. You just give it to a friend to proofread for you. And now you've got all these different versions saved together. The final thing that you actually end up submitting is something like that. It's pretty bad. We take these 3 problems. Well, it turns out that copy and paste is the state of the art for version control for most people. And we think we can do better. We take the problems of version control, backup, and collaboration, and we're solving it for designers. So how does this work? Basically, all you need to do is hit save in whatever application you're using, whether it's PowerPoint or Photoshop or Illustrator. And as soon as you hit save, you back up all of your work, sync it up online, and make it available for other people to work on as well. So this is a quick example of just one of the designs that one of our users created. You can see he starts with a very basic photograph, but you can actually see the evolution of his image over time. All he's doing is hitting save. we're backing up all of his work, and those thumbnails are real revisions that you can revert back to. There's no more duplicated files, there's no more copying and pasting, it all happens seamlessly. So if this interests you, I'd encourage you to sign up at pixellabs.com, and also we're happy to announce that we're hiring. So if you're a developer or a designer or a generalist, please come and talk to us. Again, we're Pixel Labs, and we're changing the way that people collaborate. No more copy-paste.
You know how Steve Jobs said that Dropbox is just a feature? Pixel Labs is going to build an actual amazing product, right? And I also didn't know that working in enterprise software means we have to join Darth Vader. Hi, my name is Hi from Affluence. Now, 3 of us founded Affluence out of desire to make managers more productive. Pablo has a PhD in computer science and a passion for agile methodology. Luis has a master's in computer science and extensive enterprise software experience. And myself, I took a leave of absence from my PhD in design research 6 months ago to work full-time for Affluence. Now, the problem that we're trying to solve is dealing with information overload. Let me give you an example. A year and a half ago, I was in the same position as most of you were. I was a graduate student. I was pursuing my graduate degree. I was actually TAing a course called ME317. I was consulting for eBay, and then I was trying to build my company at night. The question is, what did I work on next? I have so many responsibilities. The perfect way to describe this problem is actually the 4-quadrant method. So if you take everything you have to do and put it in a 2x2 matrix with the dimensions of importance and urgency, what you find is that every single day you're spending time working on things that are urgent, but not necessarily important. Instead, what you should really be doing is focusing your attention on things that are important and urgent. But putting this into practice can be very challenging. So we built a product called Priority Matrix. It's a software suite that helps you set, track, and share your priorities. Priority Matrix works on the iPad, iPhone, Mac, and Windows, and solves one simple problem. It lets you know what to work on next, right now, anywhere, anytime. So where we are today, we have more than 50,000 paid customers. We have managers across the world that swear by our product as the method of choice for project management. And because we have a product out there, we're starting to learn about the unimaginable use cases by our customers. And that's what we're using to learn to build our next generation products. So in 3 months, we're launching Priority Matrix for teams, letting people actually work together and understand what they have to focus on in a group environment. We're expanding our platforms, and we're building a channel strategy in order to reach millions of customers. So I do want to emphasize that since a lot of you guys are interested in entrepreneurship, that StartX has been absolutely amazing. So first, we had access to really, really awesome mentors. We had VCs, entrepreneurs, and we actually, I go on hikes with the co-founder of LinkedIn to talk about our challenges. And this is all through StartX. Secondly, StartX gives us access to a lot of really great partners. So notably Microsoft, actually they give us a lot of resources and they hook us up with amazing people meeting us every single week in order for us to develop a next generation platform. So, definitely talk to us. I want to encourage you to talk to us, especially if you're a life hacker with crazy insights, if you're looking for a full-time internship, and of course we also want to give you $100 credit to use our next generation product in order to manage your entrepreneur pursuit or your academic work. This is how you contact us, and good luck, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just have to say, shout out for Hi and Affluence. I downloaded Priority Matrix about a year ago, and it's awesome. You all can easily go download it. It rocks. We're Gal Surgical, and we're developing a blood management solution for the operating room. And I just have to say, we couldn't have done it without StartX's help. So I want to start off. I bet every single one of you has a friend or a relative that's been in the operating room, or perhaps you have. The truth is, right now in the operating room, there's a problem. And it says, blood loss. Currently, there's no accurate way to measure blood loss in the operating room. Literally, physicians take a guess. They eyeball it. So this is how they do it. They take a stack of bloody sponges that have come out of the surgical field, and they just literally guess. That's all they've got. As they're doing the best they can. But the problem is, they use that number to make clinical decisions. They use that number to decide how much blood to give back to you through transfusion. And this results in a $40 billion cost to the healthcare industry. And the surprising thing is, a good number of these transfusions are completely unnecessary. So what does this mean to you? Well, think about it. Next time you, a friend or relative go into the operating room, If you leave with too little blood, truth is, you could take an extra day or even weeks to recover, extra recovery time from lack of blood. If you have too much blood, then that's burden on the healthcare system. And if you have too little, like I mentioned, then that's going to be extra days and hundreds, even thousands of dollars a day. That's money out of your pocket. And this is where we come in. We've developed, leveraging mobile solutions, a way to measure blood loss in the operating room. So transfusion, meet the iPad. We're using machine learning and computer vision techniques to do this. Let me show you how it works. So we have a nurse, and they hold up a bloody sponge in front of a mounted iPad in an operating room. And then, using our technology, we can take a scan using sensors that are on the iPad to measure exactly how much blood, or roughly how much blood is on that sponge. That information is then given back to the anesthesiologist or physician, and they use that to make accurate, guided decisions on how to take care of you or your relative or friend. Truth is, our technology, through lab studies and clinical studies that we've done with StartX's help, has been proven to be both accurate and precise. So back in January, we closed a $1 million seed round. And since then, with StartX's help, we've been able to accomplish 2 510(k) clearances from the Food and Drug Administration, which is something that's almost unheard of. And this is where you come in. We're looking for people to help us. We want to join a team of dedicated individuals who are experts in the medical field. We're looking for designers and developers. And if this is something that interests you, come talk to us over at our booth. Or you can reach us at info@goutsurgical.com. For Gout Surgical, we're developing a new way to measure blood loss in the operating room. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming. We have, let's see, we have one more. Oops. Oh no. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, well there's the slide. Alright everyone, so thanks again for coming. You've seen our companies. Thank you so much guys for repping it so hard. It seems like thank you for being a part of this. If you're not founding the company now, we're excited to say we're going to be running a startup weekend in late October. And this is basically a 54-hour hackathon that's structured with design thinking and basically how you get an idea up and running. There's, I think, about 100 slots that are open. And so we'll be hosting it with Stanford Technology Ventures Program and the GSV. So go ahead and apply for it. It'll be a lot of fun, and we'll definitely be there, kind of seeing who's there, and we'll know which one of you. We've had companies come from there that have joined the program. And again, here's our website. Oh, go ahead. Here's our website. We're also looking for new staff members, and so go ahead and apply on the website. You know, if you don't join a startup company or found a company, being on our team is honestly one of the best ways to learn about entrepreneurship. You get to work hands-on with the best founders out of Stanford, helping them, seeing the problems they're going through, and building that network. Yeah, that's all I have. So we have some food and refreshments outside, and then demos. Thanks again for coming.